See, they don't play this team enough, but I know this is a team that bugs the crap out of them.
We're going to say safety. Ready?
The Bengals.
Well,
oh, sorry. It does.
Great
Because
setup there, Cat.
We're going to say it at the same time. Bengals.
This is the Buffalo Plus Podcast, brought to you by Connors and Ferris.
All right, welcome back to the Buffalo Plus Podcast, presented by Connors and Ferris. Mike Catalana, Dan Fates. I am Jenna Cottrell. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. This episode, we're going to get into Tyreek Hill's comments about the Bills, little rivalry talk, camp, a new report coming out, a little bit about that, as well as, credit to me, and Michael, a surprise guest for our very own Dan Fates.
Yeah, it is for Daniel. You know, I've been working on this and I've been excited about it, trying to get the timing together. And Dan usually knows, obviously, everything we're doing. There's not a lot of surprises. But I love this and I love thinking about what your reaction's going to be.
Scared?
No reason to be scared.
Don't be scared.
No, but this is also one of those things where you're right. Like, I usually have the final touch on everything. So this is
Yes.
Yeah, it's
surprising.
usually not surprises. Like, you guys surprised me with the gold jacket.
Yes.
That was
totally got me. Like,
awesome.
I had no sense that was
Yeah,
coming.
that was really fun.
And he got me. And
Well, we could
I
also-
surprised you with Pilates.
oh yeah,
we could also say things to his face and he would still be surprised later because he just wouldn't listen.
yeah. I
He
don't
would just
listen to. I don't
completely
I listen
tune
about
out.
50%.
Yeah.
Yeah, of what's going on.
That's fair.
So,
And then you interrupt the other 50.
yeah, that's my job. That's what I do.
That's fair.
Also, is this, I think some people may also, I know it's, we'll get to it a little later. Is this the last podcast where you are going to introduce yourself as Jenna Cottrell?
No, I'm not changing my name.
Okay.
Oh
Well, I am. But
no,
I'm
you're
not
gonna
on
do
air.
just like my daughters.
Yeah,
little
yeah.
inside baseball here.
Yeah.
They love the last name Catalana.
That's
it's
a
great.
good last name.
Officially, or maybe unofficially, they have other last names.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm going to do
They
the same
stick
thing.
with the name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Catalana. Such a good last
Yeah.
name. Yeah.
Renee was very upset to get rid of her last name, so much so that when she changed her name,
Mhm.
she put her last name as her middle name.
That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
despised her middle name when she was born. And so she made it was Renee Perot, and then she became
Yeah.
Renee Fates. And obviously, everybody knows now, probably at this point, Fates is not spelled very well. So-
Honestly, it's so fitting for you, though.
Yes.
Like, it's so fitting for
yeah,
you
like
to
if
spell.
like I'm sure the comments right now will be like, it's Feets, Fetus. Like, I've gotten it all. So for Renee to be a teacher, and she was like, Perot was so good, and all these things.
Especially like Renee
it is
Perot.
such a good name.
And so
Yeah.
she went from French, Renee Perot, to really, really French to Renee Fates.
Oh,
Yes.
I didn't know Fates was French.
It means grand event.
Oh, that is you.
Gala event.
You are a grand event.
A gala event.
Wow, I did not
There's
know
no
that.
So, yeah.
All right, so we took the long drive, but let's go back to Tyreek Hill. Some of the comments. So back in May, he did not mince words when he says bleep the Bills. And then he was at Fanatics Fan Fest and he said, quote, whenever we play the Bills, those guys typically play cover 4 because they're a bunch of bitches.
It's yeah. It's so hilarious that he's saying this. First of all, Tyreek, it works.
Yeah.
It works.
Yeah.
He's had a few moments against the Bills. He certainly had a few when he was with the Chiefs, not so much in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever he says about the defense, it's like, what does he think? Like Sean McDermott's going to go, oh, darn, it's only worked. We beat the Dolphins like a drum. But Tyreek's upset about it, Dan. We should change that defense.
To me, it's the epitome of like the baseball analogy when it's hitters like, just throw me a fastball. It's like, so you want me to like, so you can hit it? It's like, oh, you're upset that I'm shutting you down. Like, this is one of those like, be better. Like, why are you mad at the Bills when you could just be better? Like, his career numbers against the Bills, 45 receptions in 9 games. So it's 5 catches a game. He's averaging 52 yards per game and has 2 touchdowns in 9 career games against the Bills.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
it's not like even when he was with Kansas City, obviously he had the catch in the 13 seconds game that set it up. And like, he was the best wide receiver for a period of time.
Certainly the most
Yeah.
explosive. I mean,
Definitely.
just crazy.
And there was
good.
fear of like, oh no, he's in Miami, he's in the division. It really hasn't been this scary wide receiver that's in the AFC East. Mike, your phone.
Yes.
Okay, put it on silent.
It's not.
No,
your-
it's off.
It's
Yeah.
not. It's not
Yeah.
your phone. Those
Yes.
dings that you
Yeah.
are hearing, it is not your
You're
phone.
like,
It's the
I never
podcast.
have my phone on loud. The last 3 episodes.
know.
Yeah, it's-
Find me for that.
Okay, we'll find you.
Um,
Also, he's 1-6 against the Bills with the Dolphins including the playoffs.
so what is comical to me is him being critical of the Bills when it was only a short time ago. He sounded like he disliked the Dolphins more than the Bills.
I know.
True.
Like he wanted
yeah.
out and this isn't working out for me. And I mean, listen, I love the fact that he's trying to, like, I guess, drum up more of a
Hate.
thing with the Bills. Maybe they should try to do almost anything down in Miami.
Yes.
I said to you guys before, I think it's the last place team in the division. I think it's going to fall apart for them. I just do. I don't like their talent. I think the coaches sort of hit his mark or below his mark, and he's going to be gone. I'd be very surprised if they were good this year. Maybe not last, maybe it's a battle, but
Yeah.
I think the other two teams are ascending and they are dropping. But if he wants to do this and pump it up a little bit, hey, it just makes the games with the Bills got a little more juice, I guess.
I just can't imagine like at Fan Fest saying that and people be like, well, yeah, because they beat the shit out of you.
Yeah.
like because they always beat you. So
It's not a rivalry
No.
when
It's
one
not.
team
No.
wins.
It's not a rivalry.
the little reverse psychology
Yeah.
by Tyreek
So when
Hill.
you talk about like, oh, it brings more juice. I don't even think his words mean anything. Like, I would love it to be like, you talk about the hate. Like, the Jets hate is real.
Yeah,
To me, like, if we
they
want to rank like the
hate.
Bills rivals, Jets to me are 1-1.
Well, your point is specifically with the players. It's a players dislike led by Dion.
But it's
In
they
terms
have
of,
gone
yeah.
back and forth with, like, I also believe like rivalry, like there has to be somewhat both teams winning.
I give the
Yes.
Jets credit because the Jets have either beaten the Bills or
Right.
pushed them a
Right.
lot.
So
yeah.
it's even like those kind of things. So like, I don't see the Dolphins as a rivalry. Tyreek can say terrible things about chicken wings or whatever he wants. It does not bring to me any more juice than the biggest thing I always think about going into Dolphins games is, will Josh Allen win the AFC Offensive Player of the Week? That's
Yeah.
the only thing. That's the storyline. Not like, could the Dolphins beat the Bills? No, it's how many yards and touchdowns will Josh Allen have?
Yeah.
And Jenna, how about, last year when the Bills defense was down
Mhm.
and they still didn't do anything against them?
No, I know. Well, you talk about like this last season and how you expect them to finish poorly in the division. Like, do you think this has got to be a make or break year for Mike McDaniel?
Oh, no,
Like,
no
there's
question.
Yeah.
Just no way. After Hard Knocks, I was kind of like, this team kind of has a weird vibe. And then just to see like not having the results, not having the culture, having Tyreek Hill publicly make all those comments, like just the warning signs of a team in a locker room that's that disjointed. It's like you have this year to get it back on track, but I don't expect that to be the case.
He's in a bad spot. It's self-created though. I mean, he's the coach. Like, this is what it is. They were good. They were close to being a contender
Mhm.
because they made the playoffs. They can't play in the cold. We know that.
I
It
wish it were
happened.
colder.
Yeah, and they tried all that stuff and it didn't work. Now they are older. They have had a bad run of injuries, especially on the
Yep.
D line.
Yeah.
No
Well,
question
and
about
Tua.
that. And obviously
Yeah.
with Tua, but as an organization, we talked about good and bad organizations. I think the Dolphins would be closer to the bad than
Yeah.
the good.
100%.
But at the same time, they never really prepared for life without Tua, knowing that he's going to be out. So it was always kind of really bad when he wasn't there. And then they've got players that will leave, like eventually, in terms of what's his name in the secondary, Ramsey. He'll be gone, and all the injuries they've had. So I just, it's like rally the troops, or you bring in an influx of young players. I don't think they have either of those going for them. But Tyreek's calling the Bills names. I mean, really, it's kind of weak.
Yeah.
It's so far down. Like, I really would rank the Bills and Dolphins as the Bills' least biggest rival. Like, if you rank the 3 rivals in the division, they're third for me because it is what the Bills and Patriots were.
It's Rhino. It's rivalry in name only.
Oh.
Well, there's an old political one that they say
yeah,
that.
I'm aware.
But
I'm not.
it goes back to the days of Ralph Wilson, who loved them playing the Dolphins. I mean, the Dolphins went through that stretch where they won. I should know this. This was even before I covered the team, when they had won like 20 straight against the Bills, and they finally
in
beat
black
them.
and white.
It's close, not too far off.
Stop.
And then it went, very competitive, but the Bills still beat them in the Dan Marino years. It's never been as good, and Ralph never wanted to lose that. There was talk of when they were restructuring the divisions, I think the Bills would have been, and we can talk about this too, in a different division, maybe with the teams in the Midwest,
Yeah.
Pittsburgh,
Yeah.
Cleveland,
Yeah,
give him that. He wanted that Miami rivalry.
Huh.
That rivalry was really Marino and Kelly more than anything.
Shout out Ralph though, because I would love a trip to Miami over a trip to Cleveland every
Yes,
year.
I do
Well
think
done.
I do think that
support
played
that.
into it, because Bills fans have always made that trip
Yeah.
and gone down there, even all the way back to the Orange Bowl, but really since
Yeah.
they've been in this stadium and gone down there. But there is something cool about more of a Rust Belt
Yeah.
rivalry in
Yeah.
the
The
division.
blue collar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they fit that way. I bet you Miami wishes they were in a different division, since they've dealt with
Yes.
Tom Brady and now Josh Allen.
Yeah,
So
that is true. Well, you talk about Tom Brady, obviously the Patriots. Josh Allen had some really nice comments to say about Drake May. He did an interview with Sports Illustrated, and he just talked about how he thinks he has a good head on his shoulders with the play that he's seen from him. And that, like, what do you see now as you look at Drake May?
Potential that you're still trying to figure out. Like, we have seen quarterbacks, like, I was a big fan of CJ Stroud. Mike was not. And CJ Stroud, who I think has a ton of talent and ability, it was just a flash in the pan. So you are kind of.
can I take a brief timeout on that? It's not that I disliked CJ Stroud. I thought he got way too much credit after only 1 year on a team with low expectations. And he played well, but it was all of a sudden, he's top 5. He's this, he's that. A little bit of Jaden Daniels, but Jaden Daniels showed me flashes of even more than Stroud did.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
he's already in that too. Jordan Love got that. It's like all of a sudden he's this guy. I want
Wait,
to
are you saying that the media overreacts?
Well,
Get
there are people that do overreact.
no.
And this was the whole thing about the quarterbacks. I think it's when you make up a list, it's a cool list when you throw in that and like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Oh, they got this guy top 5. By the way, Stroud also kind of put himself in the top 5.
Yes. I
Which
think he
was-
said some of those comments in his
Yes.
offseason last season.
I
that-
think of Josh in 2019.
I do too. I see that as well. And
There were a lot of questions about what
Yeah.
he would be. Would he just be big, crazy play and
Yeah.
then wild, bad plays? And then in 2019, even though it ended with the crazy big plays and
Yeah.
the wild plays in Houston,
Oh, yeah.
he showed a lot and then obviously progressed in 20 as what he's become.
Pat DeMarco.
Yes.
Oh my God.
The
In
lateral to
flat.
Knox. The
lateral
to
to Knox. Yeah. And I think Drake
Oh.
May has that. If I was Drake May, I would push away from the Josh Allen comparisons because
Well,
physically there's nothing like Josh.
Nobody
Yeah.
should be. Anthony Richardson was the other guy. Like,
Yeah.
unfortunately for Josh Allen, he's the worst thing that can happen to some of these like fringe quarterbacks that put up some decent numbers at not major schools.
Yeah.
And then they go, well, hey, remember Josh Allen at Wyoming? It's not fair to do what Anthony Richardson did for 7 games
Yeah.
to see what Drake May did at UNC to then be like, hey, they're a freak of nature like
Well,
Josh Allen.
You know what it is, Jenna? Josh gets looked at in comparisons to people who potentially can become more accurate.
Yes.
It's Josh Allen. How about quarterbacks
He's the
who are
anomaly.
physically gifted? Josh Allen.
Yeah.
And then can he be better? How about quarterbacks that went to a different kind of program? It's Josh Allen. Like he's the answer to all of those
Yes.
things.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like it doesn't even always have to be the big, strong quarterback. It can be the guy from the smaller school or the less of a program.
Well, it's like I always think when people are like, well, they took this quarterback in the 6th round. It's like, could be Tom Brady.
Yeah.
It could be.
Could. The could.
It could be.
Yes.
You're right.
Yes.
Yeah, no, that is true. I think that is fair. But I do think when the Bills have been in New England, I mean, obviously that last game last season was a little bit different.
Big
But,
win
like,
for the Bills.
But yeah. But I will say I've seen things, a little flashes where you're like, okay, you see some of the potential that Drake May has. Now, can they put weapons around him? Obviously going to get Stephon Diggs and things like that. But can you see the maturation process and see him get better? Because I do think he can, I think, evolve.
Yeah.
But can he do that in the NFL? That's what we're waiting to see.
He has Josh McDaniels, who has been with Brady. So he's a guy who's had success. We'll see how that works out. He's got a real head coach now, and they did get him some help weapons-wise. That offensive line is not good enough. You know what is funny, though, guys? We talk about rivalries. Never did I really think of the Patriots as a Bills rival.
No.
The Bills were, during the Brady years, for the most part, they were not even competitive. Obviously, we all know that. The only time I saw those two as rivals was in this small window of Jones as the quarterback, Mac Jones, when they beat him in the cold, windy game.
Yep.
And then the Bills came back and did the perfect game against him. Yeah. Because if you remember in Foxborough and in Boston, there's those clips of the reporters all going, "Oh, the Patriots, the Bills' run as AFC East champs was over fast. Like the Patriots are the team." And then the Bills destroyed them, and there hasn't been a rivalry. It's kind of weird. They were never really good at the same time.
Yeah,
they were okay.
What do you
times.
think the top 5 rivalries are for the Bills?
Well, one is
top
the Chiefs.
5?
Oh, right now in this setting, one is the Chiefs.
I don't.
Who are you putting ahead of the Chiefs?
I think the Jets.
I think the Jets too, actually.
Yeah.
I think there's real hatred.
Oh, in terms of that.
I'm not talking about pecking order of like, who are they trying to get past? That to me isn't a rivalry.
I know, but
like Brady and Manning weren't really a rivalry because Brady beat the snot out of him every single postseason until the end.
The Bills have won enough games against the Chiefs, and it has been that close in the other games.
But
I know
the Chiefs can say it doesn't matter.
But you could say every game against the Jets doesn't matter.
Because they're not. Yeah,
because they haven't really been.
I see what you're saying.
I say
Mike,
the unique circumstances of Bills and Chiefs make them in my opinion, make them the number one rival. You think about the Chiefs all off season. You think about them.
We're just on the same page
in the
again.
Playoffs. God, I'm sorry. I hate being right again.
So
I just think they're the number one rival because the games matter.
Comment in what you think. Who do you think is the Bills' top?
And why
rivalry?
is Mike right?
I'm not just chucking it up to like the
they
team
play every year in the regular season too.
Yeah, the Bills win those.
I know, but I'm saying it's twice a year, every year. They play the Jets twice a year too. They haven't even played the Jets that much more than the Chiefs.
I honestly do think that the Bills players, though, hate the Jets more than the Bills players hate the Chiefs.
If that's the lane you're going down for strictly the rivalry, the hate between the players, no question it's the Jets.
That's kind of where
that's where I was going.
All right.
So you're saying fan base wise or like that's where I'm kind of.
Who are they obsessed with?
Obsessed
is different
and rivalry are different.
Yeah.
Well, that to me, that's what I see as the rivalry. It's like it's all this. Can they get by the Chiefs? Can they get by the Chiefs? They're the team they think about, except when they trade draft picks. They think about the Chiefs nonstop, as if and Sean has said it and Brandon has said it. It's almost like they're a division team.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I would say.
When you put it in that framework, I totally get it, and it would be the Chiefs. I guess when I think of a rivalry, I think of how the players are reacting in terms of that. And to me, I also do think it factors in that the Jets and the Bills have gone back and forth, whereas in the games that matter, the Bills have faltered against Kansas City.
And that's where I would say, in that big picture, none of the games against the Jets have mattered. Now, maybe if the Jets get better, or if Rodgers would have actually been good.
Well, then you could say none of the games against the Bills in the regular season would matter.
No,
Yep, got him. No, Burn. No. That's you saying that no regular season game matters.
Because it matters because
boom, roasted.
It should be. They even think about this. Can we get the 1 seed? Can we beat them in the regular season and have a better record?
Not giving in.
No, obviously it's the Chiefs. And then it's the Jets. Okay, so those would be
top
the
1
teams.
and 2. We agree they're the top 2.
Yeah.
And then who's your third?
See, they don't play this team enough, but I know this is a team that bugs the crap out of them.
We're going to say same team. Ready?
The Bengals. Oh, sorry. It does. Because
set up their cat.
We're going to say it at the same time. Bengals.
The Bengals beat them in that game.
Yep.
And it disrupted everything they thought. It's one thing to
100%.
be like, oh, it's only the Chiefs and we got to get by the Chiefs. And all of a sudden the Bengals did, and then they got to a Super Bowl
Yep.
in another year and they got there. Yeah, it bugs
Bean
them.
made the comment of, I don't want to be as bad as the Bengals.
So I can
Yeah.
get
Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
The Bengals fans the Bengals players being upset that the Bills had sold tickets to the other playoff
oh my
game.
God,
Are
I
they-
forgot
yeah,
about
They're
that.
still upset.
The
They're
Bills are selling the whole regular season tickets now. Is the Bengals upset about it?
disrespectful.
Yeah.
It's I agree. They don't play each other enough, and the DeMar thing is a
Yeah.
weird dynamic in there because I think there was the mutualness of that moment.
Yes.
But outside of that, it is the Bengals thinking of themselves as they're better than the Bills.
Mhm.
And I don't think they should feel that way because of the records and things like that. But they have that win over them. They have the Super Bowl appearance. The Bengals are just icky to me.
I think the Bengals organization in every way possible was phenomenal during that whole thing.
Yeah.
But it is odd that those two are linked in that terrible thing that ended up being a
Okay.
great result.
Yeah.
It's odd because they just don't like them. They don't like them.
No.
Management wise, maybe even more than player wise.
Yeah. And who do you have?
I was gonna say the Ravens, but
Ravens are up there too.
but what would you say?
I would have had the Ravens. I mean, listen, the
But-
Dolphins are still in this mix because it is a historic rivalry
I
for
guess
the
that's
team.
fair.
And with a lot of fans, they hate the Dolphins. You know, Squish the Fish has been forever. It has been that case.
Brian Cox.
Yeah, I mean, they've had, and we talked to him.
Talked to Brian Cox at the combine.
Yeah,
Had a couple pops in us.
yes. And then I might have mentioned he thought
Christian
the Bills fans were
Wilkins.
number one.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's got to be certainly in the conference, in the division. It's not like, I mean, there's no team in the NFC they have a rivalry with. No, I don't really
I don't
see
know,
big
Jim.
rivalries. I mean, it's not really even like Pittsburgh. They've played in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think there's been
Tomlin
respect in
and McDermott
organization.
were college teammates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's wild.
They had one with the Titans when that game that was delayed and they ripped them, and then the Bills lost there in the Monday night game. And
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
yeah,
Goes
Josh
back
slipped
to
on fourth down.
home run
Yeah.
throwback.
4th and
They have
1.
history there. So, and the same organization, they have home run throwback, and the Bills have the comeback game. It's the Oilers. So
Yeah.
there was something there, but they stink, and
Yeah.
I think that's gone away. But so for me, it's Chiefs. For you guys, it's Jets overall.
Comment in what you
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
And
Now
let us
I
know
am.
why.
I was gonna say now I am curious. All right. Another thing to get to in the pod. So Sal Majorana of the Democrat and Chronicle putting out a report that there is a deal that is, quote, imminent. They did an interview with Pete Gwelly, who is obviously a part of the Bills. And they said that there would be a likely long-term deal between Buffalo and Fisher for training camp. So Sal putting out that report,
Yeah.
Democrat and Chronicle putting out that report. What do you make of that?
Well, first of all, credit to Sal. He's
Yeah.
not in the greatest mood because he's watching his Yankees every night and being cranky about it. But good scoop to get on that. And I'm a little surprised only because they had made the point about the yearly thing. I think we all agree. I think they were going to keep renewing it. Maybe they're now at that point to say, let's have something spread out over 3 years or 5 years or whatever it is. But I go back to the same thing. I would hear people say, well, now the stadium's going to be done, so they're going to want to have camp in Orchard Park. I just didn't see what that big, beautiful new stadium does to alter the Bills' thoughts on training camp. They don't really use the stadium for camp. They use it for that game. And there'll be stuff there, maybe some years down the road when there's more infrastructure in there with hotels and everything else to go with it. But I'm not surprised at all.
It's also part of training camp. Like as of right now, I mean, I don't know exactly where the Bills are going to practice. Like if they're still going to practice at the formerly Admar facility, like they're still going to have all of that there that has all the fields and everything.
Oh,
so,
yeah, that
so
would
you
all
couldn't
stay.
just hold. I'm just saying, you can't just hold training camp at the stadium. You don't have the space for everybody to get their work in. Like,
That's a great point.
When we get training
yeah.
camp, there's players on the offense goes to one field, the defense goes to another, special teams are on the turf field. Like there's more space to get things accomplished in training camp.
Yeah, I looked at some of these other teams,
Mhm.
like they have setups even at home where their practice facilities are that can accommodate more fans.
Absolutely.
So I think there's a way for the Bills to do
Yeah,
that.
Jets and Giants, like they have it.
Patriots have that
Yep.
too. So they could do that. But, we've said this. Now, this is for now. And this is Josh likes it. Sean likes it. Brandon likes it. So it works. But it would be interesting to see because they used to do deals,
Yeah.
longer term
Yeah.
deals.
I guess I was kind of surprised just because it seems like the Bills have been so okay with doing year to year type of things. That's the only reason why I was like, oh, I hadn't seen it, and I was like kind of caught off guard just because it feels like that is what has been working for the Bills. But I also understand that they do love Rochester, and they've obviously been coming since the year 2000. So it makes sense to maybe now have something a little bit more long term, considering that they do usually they do
Yeah.
come back every year.
Kind of bothers me because we've had the yearly scoop on camps coming
true.
back.
Yeah,
And then Sal
I know.
goes and scoops me.
Wow.
Well, good for Sal.
I was say good for Sal.
Yeah.
Good report. So
Yep.
yeah. So the interview with Pete Gwelly, he said, quote, "We haven't agreed on exact terms as of yet. We're going through some of the mechanics, but our goal is to stay in Rochester for the foreseeable
And that
future."
might get announced at
So
camp.
say Democrat and Chronicle, Sal Majorana, all that stuff.
Yep.
So good to know. And yeah, that means the patio, Michael. You're gonna have to keep that thing up.
Yeah, let's go. Patio, ready to go. Bean, we're ready for you. See
right.
if he brings somebody with him. So
We are less than a month.
yes, till we get to camp. Do we want to
Yeah.
So you take over.
All right, we have our very special
Secret.
very special secret guest who will be joining us. So let's get to it.
A few moments later.
All right, our special guest is here. Thank you for joining us. Let's get into this, Mike.
All right, I got to introduce our guest. Our guest's name is Brian Heiss. Our guest is a Buffalo Bills fan. Our guest is a Buffalo Plus fan. And Daniel, our guest is a pilot.
Get out of here. Get out of here. We got a pilot?
We got a pilot. This is the official pilot of the Buffalo Plus podcast.
Get out of here. Dude, mind blowing.
Dan, I really don't know anything.
That's not what I want to hear. What are you more impressed? I got so many questions.
Okay.
No,
This is-
it's funny is I'm amazed by tunnel. I heard I saw some tweet the other day. Tunnels baffling to me. Baffling.
Okay. So at least we have some common ground there.
Yes.
There's a million buttons up there. There's
So hold on, Brian. He's going to be a little upset here. Let's start with this. What do you fly, and how did you start flying?
Yeah. So I started. I work right now. I fly for a corporation here in Rochester. So business aircraft. Prior to this, I was with the airlines. So I've been about 10 years with the airlines, and I've been about 10 years with the company I'm at now.
Awesome.
Is there ever a moment where you're like, this is crazy? Like I'm flying a metal tube in the sky.
I think every day I'm flying, it occurs to me. I'm like, what is going on here?
Okay, and my question too is because we had a flight that there was turbulence, and it was pretty shaky, right? And the pilot never came on. So my impression, as I told on the podcast, was, okay, he's not talking to us. Like this must not be that bad. And then afterwards, he came on and said, like, whoa, sorry guys, that snuck up on me. Does turbulence sneak up on you? Like you're bouncing in the air. Does that make any sense of the question?
No, it does. It does. Turbulence can come out of nowhere. Flying, they call it like clear air turbulence. So you think like when there's thunderstorms, you'll get turbulence when there's thunderstorms in the area you're flying, but there's also turbulence. It could be completely clear out there and it's just bumpy. And there's really no way to predict it other than getting reports from other planes that are in the area and from air traffic control, if that makes sense. And then you would try to go from there, whether you need to go to a different altitude or generally you try to go to a different altitude to get out of the turbulence.
Fascinating.
Okay, I have a question. What's like the hardest condition to fly in? Because I would imagine it's snow, but one time it was really windy and it was terrifying just trying to land the plane.
Yeah, for me personally, landings are generally the most challenging, especially when the winds are coming across the runway.
A good word. I like how you didn't say scary. I appreciate that.
Mind blowing. And like I said, I'm fascinated. Like I feel like I'm meeting my hero.
It's funny as I listen to you guys, I'm like, everything you do is awesome and flawlessly, and you make me laugh. And I'm like, you guys are great.
Yeah, but we're not 30,000.
I feel like I'm meeting my heroes here.
Well, when everybody says Jenna's high, it's not 30,000 feet. I guess that's a little bit different.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so this is a question Dan says all the time. He'll say like, credit to the pilot, or should I say credit to the plane? Because it's the idea of how much flying is the pilot doing? How much flying is
good question
the plane doing?
Correct. Yeah. So nowadays, generally, I would have to say, let's just call it 75% is the plane flying. And we're basically just managing the aircraft.
That's modest. That's too modest of an answer for me. Like that can't be it. Like all of the stuff. Every time I fly, I'm a little nervous, but I'm always confident in like what seems to be shaky. Like you're talking about wind. I'm like comfortable knowing like, hey, the pilot's probably flown in worse. It's like when you were a kid and your dad was driving the car in like a snowstorm and you may have been nervous, but you're like, well, your dad's driven in this before. Is that kind of the sense too of like where you have a sense of calmness of like, I know we're 30,000 feet in the air, but like I've done this hundreds and hundreds of times.
Yeah, it definitely comes into play. And you just go through your mind of what you've dealt with before. And you just take that what you've dealt with before. And you basically, whatever the conditions are, that helps you deal with the conditions that are in front of you. You take off, you're taking off and you land the plane. But once you get to a certain altitude, you let the plane fly itself. And the plane, like I said, I mean, the plane is basically flying us. You program everything. It's basically you're programming roads into a computer system, and it's basically like your GPS. You plug in where you want to go, and it takes you there. So.
All right, Brian. So you said you flew commercially with an airline. What were you like on the microphone?
Yeah.
Like what were you?
Question.
Some of them it's like they're doing a show at the Chuckle Hut, and other guys or women are just to the point. Like when you were talking to the people, the passengers, what were you like on the mic?
I'm not really keen on speaking really in front of people or. So I was very short. Flight time. What to expect, weather at destination. That was about it.
That's big. I want to know what to expect.
Yeah.
I want to know, hey, there could be some bumps, because that way, at least then I'm prepared if there are, to be like, hey, he knew this was coming. This guy knows what he's talking about. He saw this coming. Do you have a favorite plane? Like, do you guys just like hop in? Because it's not like it's your car.
You just hop in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there like a favorite that
we have two different types of aircraft. So they're basically so we have you hop in, they're identical to each other. So there's no everything's laid out the same. So that makes it easy. If that's the question you're kind of posing.
Yeah.
I always think about personalities of pilots, and they seem to be people that can be meticulous. You have your checklist, you do all that stuff. Based on what you know, and maybe even in the last 5 minutes or so, if Daniel Fates wanted to become a pilot, do you think he has the makeup to someday do that and handle it?
I think he can handle it. I think he can handle it.
I am not on that flight. I am not on that flight.
It's just fascinating. Everything about it, like every bump, I'm like, huh. And like that to you guys is probably like, yeah, I know exactly. Like you think that's it too. When I talk about like giving credit to the plane and the pilot, like you've done all of the knowledge and research to know like that noise is this, that's normal, that isn't normal, correct?
Yes.
It's fascinating.
Yes.
Have you ever had a celebrity on one of your flights?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh,
Big.
I was saying so big.
Yeah.
Big question. Should we clap when we land? I think that's a big question. Like, do you want an applause?
Yeah, I think I can say, yeah, I've had, we kind of donated our when we were doing, not donated, but we allowed, they're doing some publicity or whatnot. So I've, Jason Tatum.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were shooting commercials, I guess. So we had our planes pick them up, and
That's cool.
let's see, Carmelo Anthony and Eli Manning.
Oh,
Wow.
okay. Yeah,
Okay,
some
nice.
big sports.
Yeah, I was gonna say, love that. Do you judge people when they get up right after the flight lands?
Can't see it.
See, he doesn't see that. We know the guy or the woman in the back of the plane
Oh my
who
gosh.
decides it doesn't matter. Everybody else sitting there, they just want to run towards the front. See, you're the pilot. You're the guy up front. You just got to stand there and wave
So
and
true,
say,
yeah.
do you say bye-bye when they leave commercially? Like the flight attendants do, like bye. Pilot do that, right? You're too cool for that, right?
Yeah, well, it depends what kind of mood you're in, I guess.
That is very that's very fair.
This is awesome. By the way, you are a big Bills fan. So while we got you on here as the official pilot of the Buffalo Plus podcast,
Yes.
what do you think for this year? I mean, just watching everything that's going on, maybe listening to our takes. What do you think about this season?
This is the year. This is the year.
I like it.
That's right to the point.
I like
He's
it.
yeah.
That's how I like my pilots.
Yeah.
Right, direct
And
right,
confident.
Yeah, confident.
That's
It's their year.
I mean, I don't. They have everything in place, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel
Somewhat heading, or they address their needs.
we love it.
Yes.
We love the
Addressing of the needs.
I don't know. What's your take on everything?
I would say the 75% basically autopilot is Josh Allen. It's the other 25% that you got to worry about, right? You kind of know what Josh is, and then can the other people help him out enough?
Yeah. And they address the pass rush.
Yeah.
So hopefully that will be impactful throughout the season, and especially in the moments that they need it to be. And that's a huge piece.
How you doing over there, Dan? You good?
I'm pretty starstruck. Like there are very few times I'm like caught off guard, and well done by you guys.
Yeah.
Because planes, trains, and planes, tunnels, and cranes all are mind blowing. So to actually get to talk to one, I'm always like, when I walk off the plane, I'm like, hey, thanks, man. I always, like, I'm not the clapper, but when I see walk by, it's like, this dude, like, hey, well done, man. Way to land this metal tube from 30,000 feet. Well done, man.
Dan, I can always bring you out to the hangar and you can see the planes.
Oh my gosh.
This would be too much. This would be too much. That would be awesome.
That would be very cool, man.
I could. I mean, Mike, I can.
All right, we'll set
it up. But
oh my gosh.
Hey, anytime you can come out and check it out.
I appreciate it, man. This is really cool.
It's like when they, in the movies, you would see they'd bring the kid up in there and give him the little wings and clip it on. You could do that for Dan. He'd have his little wings.
Again, and I'll think of better questions because I was caught so off guard to like meet a hero. So like this is pretty fascinating, and I really appreciate it, man.
Hopefully I explain things.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Clear. I'm not great. I'm not great with this stuff either.
Great. Yeah.
No, it was great. Brian, we do appreciate it, and we will take you up on that and get
definitely. Yeah, you're
out there. So
your studio's right down the road from the airport. So
we'll be there in no time.
Brian, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
All right. Jenna, did you get married yet?
Saturday.
Yes.
That's actually my credit to me, is the fact that people will no longer have to hear about it.
That's it.
Hey, best of luck with the wedding.
Thank you so much.
Brian, I'll talk to you later. Thank you.
All right. Thanks for having me. Have a great day.
Thank you so much, Brian.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Your reaction.
Starstruck. I mean, I've interviewed a lot of cool people in my job, been very lucky. I was scrambling to find words.
Yeah.
It felt like I'd met a hero of mine of like how
There goes
yeah,
my
and like
hero.
also just the fact of like I couldn't even articulate questions the way that I wanted to be like, I just wanted to be like, dude, planes, and let him like run with it. And so also, like, it felt kind of cool to know like a pilot, like we have a Buffalo Plus pilot.
You know what was
Yeah.
the best part though? And Brian was great, and he
Yeah.
gave great information, and he was honest with, because he could have said, once I'm in there, like I'm doing this. No, he was telling you the way the technology helps. The fact that he's going to bring you out to see the plane.
That is so cool.
Come on, Daniel, come up front.
We're going to have to get video of that.
Oh yeah, we're coming out with you. We're coming out
I
with
was
you
like
for the
blushing.
plane.
Yeah.
Like,
You really
check that.
were. I could tell you were like, oh my God.
I was like, it's a pilot. Like,
And it's
I
a
was-
jet. He's flying jets.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
not Wilbur and Orville Wright here
Yeah.
out there with those.
I was gonna say Redenbach.
It's like, wow, I got the whole name in there.
Yes.
That was very cool. I thought it was
Who'd you think the guest was going to be? Did you have
Zach.
any idea?
Oh,
that's really
I
funny.
thought it was Zach.
Oh, that's really funny.
Yes.
No,
No.
that's no.
Former Colgate football player,
Yes.
Zach Smith. There
I
we go.
I thought it was something to do with Jenna's wedding.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, I got to set this up. Like I'll get the, how are we gonna do this, all
Oh.
this stuff, and then
Wait a
was it-
minute. Why would Zach come on
I
be a surprise for Dan?
I thought the surprise was for Jenna.
Dan actually thinks he's getting married.
Yes.
I thought it was all a setup to like surprise Jenna.
Oh, I could see that. Like a red hair or red herring, right? Is
Oh,
that-
look at him.
he's red. Do you know what a red herring is?
Nope.
It's essentially like it throws you off.
Yeah, like in a movie or a show where they make it look like this
It's
is
good-
where it's going.
Yeah, it's going to be this person
and you
that did
follow that.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
But
in
then
a
it's-
movie, if there was a crane, you would just be
I
focused
would
on
just
the
be
crane.
focused on that.
We need a crane operator next.
That's like also it's always funny. Strange aside, but like my parents, we always grew up like my dad watched Law and Order all the time,
yeah,
and then there
Dun,
would be
dun.
yeah, Dick Wolf, and there would always be like some random celebrity that would
Yes.
just be thrown in, and you're like, well, he's got to be a big part of this.
yes.
Like,
Oh, that is true.
like it was never like you were never like sitting there like I wonder why he's in it to be like the third character. Like he did it.
Yes.
He 100%.
Unless you caught him like before they were the celebrity, like if it's an
Correct.
old rerun, you're like, isn't that whatever? And
Yeah.
then they get killed off in like 3 seconds.
Either
What's the
they-
worst
they
if you
were
miss
new.
the first 4 minutes of the
Yes.
show? You're like,
Yeah.
well, I'm over it.
I thought that, like I said, we were big Law and
Order
Order
fans.
fans.
Yeah.
in our family.
SVU?
No, just the first one with
Oh.
the old guys.
Oh, the guy from
Jerry
Jerry for
Oh, I don't know.
so he's the see
and it was also the lawyer. And it was Bookham Jack. It was Jack was the name of the old gray-haired guy. He
Yeah.
looked like the guy from
This
Oh
is
my
great
God.
podcast.
Yes.
This is
The
really
guy.
good podcasting.
it's the
Yeah.
guy.
Shrinking. You reminded
Oh,
Oh.
okay. Oh, the therapist from
Yeah.
Shrinking. Also, if you haven't watched Shrinking, it's an excellent show.
Great show. All right.
Okay. All right, let's do credit to me.
Do you want to go first or last?
I will go first.
Okay.
All right. So my credit to me is credit to you all because this will be the last week. This will be the last pod talking about the wedding because the big special day is on Saturday.
No, we're talking about it.
And you
after
have
the
all-
The
wedding.
recap is going to be phenomenal.
You have
And actually,
all-
you probably won't be here for the recap. Dan and I will be
Correct.
our version of the
Oh,
recap
God,
of the
that
wedding.
is terrifying. But no, everyone has been so kind, through the fittings and the makeup trials and the nonstop talking about it and the planning, blah, 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 blah. So credit to you all for indulging me and letting me talk about a really special time in my life. So thank you.
You want me to go next?
Go ahead.
Okay, so credit to me. Role as grandpop is so much fun, and I have walked into circumstances because my daughters don't live right here in town, but my oldest has the 2 girls, and the last time I was in town, they had a little daycare issue, and all of a sudden I'm looking around, I'm going, excuse me, grandpop is here. And I got hours of just me and the 2 girls at 3.5 and 2. She just called me this week because I'm going to go there for the 4th of July. And she's like, Dad, we have this thing and blah, blah, blah. There's going to be some time filling. And I'm like, grandpop is in. Solo time.
Put me in,
Me
coach.
and the girls. By the way, I changed the diapers. I do all that.
Wow.
Hey,
Wow.
I did
mean-
that
Yeah.
30 years ago. So I'm right back in. It's awesome, and Grandpop's ready to roll.
Love
Love
that.
it.
Also, I looked it up. Sam Watterson
Yeah.
was Jack McCoy. So I was
Yes.
right. He was the main character, and it was Jerry Orbach.
Oh yeah, Jerry Orbach was in. He was a singer, and he was in the Disney. What's the one with the Be Our Guest? Be Our Guest.
Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the Jerry Orbach was like that guy. And
Dirty
then you,
Dancing.
And then yes,
He put Baby in a corner.
He did.
Wait, that's that guy?
That's
Yeah.
Jerry Orbach. Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
got it.
Anyhow.
Great teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a couple of credits to
Oh.
me. One,
Wow.
air conditioning. Credit to air conditioning. Like right now, it is hot. Credit to air conditioning. I don't know how people have survived.
How do we do it with no air conditioning in this studio?
It's hot.
Yeah.
Willis Carrier. Air conditioning was invented in Buffalo.
Fun fact
Did
of
not
the pod.
know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought Syracuse because of the Carrier Dome,
Yeah. Which didn't have air conditioning.
which
Yeah.
did not
which
have
is
air
wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So air conditioning. Also, credit to chicken salad. I'm on a big chicken salad kick. Shout out Irondequoit Country Club. My friend Corey took us out there. Chicken salad on a golf course hits really hard.
It's so good.
And then we went out there. I think it also has to do with the weather. Like this is pasta salad season,
Yes.
chicken salad season. So this was all really good.
Have you ever had a panzanella salad?
What is that?
It's like salad with bread in it,
Ah,
but
man.
not croutons, but it's like big hunks of bread. It's so good.
I'm in.
By the way, isn't it appropriate that Dan loves chicken salad? Because the
Yeah.
old phrase, take chicken shit, make chicken salad.
Yeah.
That is so brand for you.
And the last one is definitely like, I know you've done a great job of giving us credit and things like that. And we do talk a lot about ourselves and our lives on this pod. I think some people sometimes maybe roll their eyes, but I think that's what makes Buffalo Plus special. Like there are a lot of great people that can give Bills insight. Appreciate everybody for signing into this. I have had that moment recently with the 3 kids, as I've talked about all the time. I really do think I'm in like the best years of my life.
Oh,
And it's kind of like surreal to be in it. And you've gone through it with kids,
Yep.
right? And you're going through again with grandkids. Jenna, like hopefully like that's going to be in your future. But I think about working with my friends every day is surreal. This job is awesome. And on top of it, I go home to a 4-year-old, a 1.5-year-old, and a 7-month-old. And I'm sitting there like, in 30 years, I'll think back to like these times.
Yep.
that's so sweet.
And that's really kind of cool. Like took my daughter to like the zoo again just recently. And I was like, I remember taking her here when she was like 1 and like carrying her around. And now she's the one running around. And I'm like, this is surreal. So it's also why I wore my Shane ice cream shirt today.
Yes.
I'm going to, officiate my best friend's wedding. I'm going to look back in 30 years and be like, this is the best time of my life.
You made her cry.
And this has nothing to do with the speech.
That's so
Like,
sweet.
but it is just one of those things that you reflect. And maybe you guys are like, people that are listening to the podcast, like can think back to when their kids were like, it's just the perfect age right now. Like Shane is almost 5. She's a person, like can get everything she needs for herself.
Yeah.
Shut up. You're a bitch.
Ryan is almost 2. Everything's fun to her. She's just stumbling around and running into things. And then you have like a newborn baby that like is still like laughing for the first time. And I'm sitting there like, this is unbelievable these ages. Cause you've all talked about it too. There will be a time when they don't want anything to do with me.
Oh yeah. You're going to become an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And right now,
What an idiot.
What an idiot.
and right now I'm the star. And it's awesome.
Wait till you're doing things like I am now with that little girl now handing you her little girl
Oh.
to go do stuff.
Yeah.
And
That is
it's
precious.
so much easier as grandpa.
Yeah.
It is so much easier.
So it's just one of those things that I go, Jenna's always very good at sentimental stuff. I'm
Yes.
usually joking around most of the time with hot takes and sarcasm, but we do have an awesome job. It is challenging at times, especially on like my family,
Yeah.
but nobody wants to hear about that because it's like
Yeah.
we cover an NFL team and
Yeah.
podcast with our friends, but this is like the best time of my life. And it's weird to be in it and realize it
Yeah.
and to be like, this is sweet.
But I
Right.
think the appreciation is what matters.
Yep.
Yeah. If you thought that was good, just wait till
wait till-
the
God.
ceremony.
Pay so much money for my makeup. It's just going to be like here.
By the way, go ahead, Dick Vermeil, wrap it up for us.
Shut up. Okay.
Shut up.
All right.
What?
Also, if everyone could just say a little like, hey, the weather, good weather, like
Yeah.
put out a little good vibe for
Good
some good
vibes.
weather
It'll
on
be good.
Saturday, June 28th. That would be
Weather's gonna
appreciated.
good.
All right. For Dan Fates and Mike Catalana, I'm Jenna Cottrell.
And Brian Heiss, official
Yes.
pilot of the Buffalo Plus
Brian,
podcast.
thank you again. That
Yes.
was awesome.
Just wait till we get the Buffalo Plus plane.
Yes.
Oh my God. Chartering. All
That's
right.
it.
For Dan and Mike, I'm Jenna. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching. We love you all. Thank you for being there. We'll catch you next time here on Buffalo Plus, presented by Connors and Ferris. That was really good.